Hello, it's Gavin again from Lucid Computer Solutions. Hope you're well. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Office 365, to give it its full name, I suppose, Microsoft Office 365. The reason I wanted to talk about this, because I always film these videos around what we're currently working on, the products we're looking at, the services we're using a lot, and we've been doing an awful lot with Office 365 lately. Specifically moving customers from other systems across to 365. So it got me thinking, what are the three biggest benefits to using 365 for the average SME? And here in the UK, SME is a small to medium sized enterprise. So that is a business typically from 1 to 1,000 employees, and realistically it's sub kind of a few hundred employees. So what are the benefits of switching across and using Microsoft Office 365? So the number one reason, the absolute number one reason, which I'm sure many of you already know, you don't have to be that techie to be aware of what this does, it is the email system itself. So that is one of the core services behind the scenes of using Office 365, is putting your business email into Microsoft Office 365. So why would you do that? Well, there's a few reasons, but mainly being it's a relatively secure system. Now, I know security comes with a pinch of salt because it's only as good as how you set it up. But in general terms, it is secure, particularly when you've enabled features like two-factor authentication. Easy for me to say, which I'm going to come back to in point number 3. But it is a relatively secure system. Also, why would you put your email into Office 365? It's because generally, in very general terms, it's always available. The uptime on it is very, very good. It's far superior, first of all, to try and run your own email server. In this day and age, I have no idea why you would do that. Our business still asks us to look at them deploying their own Microsoft Exchange server on site. We simply refuse to do that. In this day and age, you are asking for trouble. So the uptime of 365 is really, really good. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't have outages. Before everybody jumps on the comments and goes, well, look at this, it went down 2 times in the last 12 months. Yeah, it does go down. So does Google, so does Facebook, so do all these platforms. But in very general terms, the odd occasion, the very rare occasion it does go down, it's very few and far between, and it's never for a long period of time. And it's still far more reliable than trying to do this thing yourself or run it on your own box in your own office. It is far superior. So that'll be another reason to deploy their email system. And finally, it's simply very feature rich. And I realise that's a very general thing to say and a bit of a sweeping statement, but there's lots behind the scenes you can do with email groups, distribution groups, security, the general mail flow of your system, the integration with your email into things like Teams and SharePoint and OneDrive is seamless. So there's lots and lots of features behind the scenes that you could make use of. Now, that doesn't mean every single business out there will make use of them features, but the point is they're available to you as and when you're ready to use them. So you're not just getting a straightforward, this is my email inbox. You're getting a lot of other stuff as well, which could well be of benefit to you. So the second big reason to move to Office 365 will be to put all of your files into Office 365. So this would be the ideal scenario if you've got a terrible old server sat in the corner of your office, which is always going down, but your business is really dependent on to access the files which you work on, like your Word and Excel and PDF documents, for example. Putting your files into Office 365 makes so much more sense. Again, because it's far more reliable than relying on a piece of hardware sat in your office. Sooner or later, that hardware in your office will go down, it will play up, it will randomly decide not to boot up. Having your files in Office 365, again, means your availability is pretty much, don't say, it's not 100% guaranteed, but it's very, very high. It's like 99.9. The chances of you not being able to get to your files are very slim, and there's different ways you can get to your files. using like the likes of OneDrive or SharePoint, or just simply using a web browser to pick them up. There's lots of options there. The files should always be available to you, including when you're offline if you set it up correctly. So it's much better than having your own on-site stuff to host your files. Now, what I will say is, because I always look at the bigger picture and every scenario, the only scenario that may not be applicable if you're producing very large video files, for example, which are, I don't know, 4 to 10 gig every time you produce a single file. There's some kind of local storage actually might make more sense for you in terms of speed of access. But that's few and far between. In very general terms, your day-to-day operational files and documents, 100% you should look at putting them into Office 365. And the final point is having a single sign-on. Now, what do I mean by a single sign-on? So all it means is basically you can use your email address and password once to log onto your computer, and from there you're good to go in terms of opening your email, accessing your files, accessing any other part of the 365 system. You've already authenticated when you logged onto the computer, so you don't have separate passwords to access each system. It makes the user experience a lot kind of seamless, a lot easier. They don't have to remember multiple logons and for multiple systems. It brings it all together neatly, and if you've set things up correctly, you can just log onto your computer with your email address and your password, and away you go. You've got access to all your systems. And as an added bonus on the security side of things, because you're using 365, you can deploy two-factor authentication. And all two-factor authentication it means that when you log in, you have the ability to verify a second time by sending a code via either a text message or getting a code from an authentication app like Google Authenticator or the Microsoft Authenticator, whatever your choice is. But you get a code sent to that, and you have to enter that code before you can log in. Now, why is that a good idea? Because if your password ever did get compromised, people then could have access to your system. But if you've put two-factor authentication in place, the first time they try and log in with your password, if they know it, the first thing that will happen is it will ask them for the 6-digit code to continue. And you can only get the 6-digit code from your pre-configured device, i.e. your mobile phone or your authentication app on your desktop computer. So you put in that extra barrier of protection against the bad people getting into the system. So yeah, the single sign-on plus the two-factor authentication, it's such a good thing to do. I mean, I can't stress that enough. So yeah, the 3 big reasons to move away from anything on site or any other services for that matter. Now, I realise I'm biased because I'm heavily involved with 365, but the 3 main reasons to recap is bring your email into it, bring your files into it, and bring your single sign-on and two-factor authentication for security into it. Them 3 reasons alone are a big win for most businesses. Literally, I've not come the markets that we're in, the kind of 0 to 300 employees market, it is perfect. It's basically the perfect solution for all of them businesses. Like I said, small exception for large video files, but let's cross that bridge when we get to it. I'd still advise them companies go to 365 and just leave the video stuff behind on some kind of well backed up or synchronized local solution instead. But that's a conversation for a different day. So feel free to smash the like button first and foremost. Help us grow our channel, help spread the word about us. Please, please, please do smash that like button. If you smash the like button, you'll get, I was going to offer something, but then I realised I'm probably tied to that. So if you could smash the like button, that'd be great. If you have any questions or comments around the use of Office 365, please do comment below. I do read the comments. I do try and get back to everybody's questions as soon as I can. So feel free to do that. And likewise, all the links are down below to connect in with me on other platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So that has been me, Gavin, from Lucid Computer Solutions. Oh, before I go, subscribe as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. That really helps obviously spread the word about us too. So smash the like button, click subscribe, use Office 365. Right, see you later guys. See you next time.